I'm Randy Pitchford, president of Gearbox Software, executive producer of Borderlands 2, and I've got to ask, have you done your homework?
It's really hard.
It is, isn't it?
It's a flare into it.
Anyway, hello, welcome to
Finish it.
welcome to the third episode of Homework. And as I was trying to demonstrate there, the theme is rhythm. That was Tap Sonic on the iPad, which is my new favourite thing in the world, and I just had to somehow forcibly insert it into the show right at the start. Today I'm joined by Ash Denton.
Hello.
Who you may remember from the first episode. And first-time guest.
Hello.
John Blyth.
Yep.
And you might know him, well, you're kind of where Inside Xbox used to be at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah,
Talking
I've
about
had my first hate mail for sees me as a usurper to you.
Oh dear.
I had no part in that. It's just you went and there was a gap.
Yeah, can we assure people that the OXM guys should in no way be berated for their presence? In fact, we're actually absolutely delighted that the likes of the OXM breakdown is still showing on the dash. Because I was absolutely delighted when I went on the dash, flicked over, and the first thing I saw was "Don't kill Hitler."
Yeah, and someone thought that was my face, but it was in fact the eyes of Hitler. So
You are very often confused. Though.
yes, when I'm peeping through letterboxes, people often say that's Hitler at the door.
And there was that episode of Who Do You Think You Are as well when
It turned out I was Hitler.
got quite awkward that one. Anyway, the new intro theme was by Stevie Eels, I think it is E-E-L-E-S. Should we say Eels? Eelies? Eles. Thank you for that one, Stevie. It's really, really good. Keep sending those in. I forgot to mention at the second episode. Send them in to explosiveallenproductions@gmail.com. We've got the intro sequence. It's completely silent, so you can try and compose your music to it. So yeah, keep an eye out and try and put something together for us, because we've got another one for next week, and I think we've got a very special one lined up after that, but I'll keep you posted on that front. Anyway, as I said, the theme is rhythm. We had quite a few suggestions for the film. Now, Tom Bryan, who I'm not sure is just trolling us every week just so he gets on the show. This is the guy who last week suggested a bare knuckle fight to the death and then a vote to see who won. Remember him?
Yeah.
His idea for a rhythm film was Cool Runnings.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride.
Ah, is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not just.
But how does rhythm?
That's it.
That's it. The
There's
tagline
like
is it.
one line.
Okay.
Yeah.
keep trying, Tom. Keep reaching for that rainbow. Michael Pike Thurston went with Dirty Dancing. No. We could have done the lift as a challenge though. That would have been good. I could have lifted you.
I could
That
definitely
would have
see
been
you.
beautiful.
I could definitely see you saying, "I carried a watermelon." Carried a watermelon just throughout the entire.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
And
that's good. It was a
and
test.
your colleague Mike Channel,
Oh yes.
he suggested a film called Vibrations.
Oh yes.
And I think the only reason we didn't pick this is because it was so obscure that I thought it'd be really hard for a lot of people to find and watch. So,
He knows a lot of very obscure and very bad films.
yes, we used to have the Bad Film Club. I used to go to his house and watch terrible things like Troll 2 and Birdemic. With Vibrations is about a piano player who has his hands amputated in an accident, has them replaced by robot hands, and adopts this alter ego as a kind of Uber rave DJ who's called like DJ Cyber Bastard or something like that. It's probably not that. It's got Christina Applegate in it from Married with Children. Sold. So I would try and work that into a future movie if we have a theme of amputation or something. I'll try and work that in, but yeah, I think it was just slightly too obscure, but I'd want to get it in there. On the game side, we had so many suggestions that we actually had to put it to a vote. The one that I was desperately hoping was going to win was Guitaroo Man.
Yeah.
I love Guitaroo Man. Or Rhythm Heaven, which had just come out on the Wii, but I love all the iterations from Game Boy onwards. But somebody suggested GoldenEye 64. No, a shame. But the winner was our first game, which is PaRappa the Rapper. So, PaRappa the Rapper was initially suggested by Joe McNeill, but it attracted, I think, about 65, 70 votes, which was way more than anything else got. I've got to admit, when PaRappa the Rapper was first announced, I remember this. I read it in Computer and Video Games magazine in my teens, and I thought it was an April Fool's joke.
Why?
Because in the early days of the PlayStation, it was all stuff like Wipeout and Loaded and Crazy Ivan and all this kind of edgy and dark, and, you know, all rubbish stuff. And then suddenly it's like, here's a game about a rapping dog.
Who's sniffing around the pants of a flower.
Sniffing around a flower's pants, you know. The very notion of a flower having pants was just, you know, I don't know. I just looked at it, looked at the graphical style, looked at the premise, and I thought the whole thing was just an elaborate hoax.
Right.
And then until I saw it in the shop, and only then would I believe I think it was real.
I heard about it through friends, and so I already had that sort of like, oh, I can't believe it. It's this game that does this, and that's so I had that element of surprise taken off me. So I was expecting a load of nonsense bollocks by the time I got around to buying it.
So I think it was probably maybe the first rhythm action game.
Yeah. Did you go that far? Anything else?
I can't think of anything else. I know Dance Dance Revolution was around that time, but
Console-wise?
Console-wise, yeah. I can't think of anything else that springs to mind. And it was such a weird idea. It was, I think the company put it together was Nana Onsho, who I believe is still around. And they were formed by a guy called Masaya Matsura, who was in a 1980s synth pop band.
Psy-S.
Psy-S, yeah. Or Size or something, yeah. Look, there's loads of their videos on YouTube, and they're quite bonkers. Like a woman dressed as a piano and things like that, and their tunes.
And playing herself.
And playing herself.
Made it onto YouTube.
Yeah, made it all onto YouTube. And yeah, I think their weird pop sensibility and aesthetic fused with the artist, I think it's an American artist called Rodney Greenblatt, just collided to create this really surreal world. Right, so I better read out some. I mean, this is obviously a very popular game. We had someone called Sophie Dungworth. I was always put off by PaRappa the Rapper by the incredibly lame name. He must be rubbish at rap battles if he thinks that rhymes.
He is pretty crap at rap battles.
He is. It does rhyme though, but you can't. His parents called him PaRappa. He decided to take up the profession of a rapper. You can't berate him because it just happens to rhyme by coincidence.
It's not even really rap battles. It's more of a kind of cooperative form of rap that didn't take off so much in the real world.
Just hold hands and share rhymes.
Yeah, kiss after every line.
Just see that taken off in South Central. Now you. Someone said the game holds so many memories. My best mate bought it when it first came out, and we still quote the incredibly lame lyrics. They say everyone's saying the lyrics are lame. It's true,
but funny.
Yeah, and also the way PaRappa delivers them, because it's all based on your button strokes. It's like, I'm trying to think. Well, everyone knows kick punch. It's all in the mind. Yeah. What else did we have?
It shows how many people just didn't bother getting past the first level.
No, there's a very good reason for that. All right, let's talk about this. I played it again recently. You played it again recently.
Yeah.
What did you make of the timing?
It's terrible.
The fact you say it's the first rhythm action game, that makes sense because they hadn't quite mastered rhythm.
Yeah.
It's just well, it's not unplayable because I managed to finish it without cheating.
Yeah.
But it is, you're working your way around how it behaves, and it's not sensible or right.
It's a really idiosyncratic.
Or even fun.
It's a really.
It's a great music, but not a great game.
It's a really idiosyncratic sense of rhythm, isn't it? It's like, you know, normally you think if I press the button in time to the beat, and when the dog's head goes over the button, that would in itself be sufficient to qualify as rhythm. No. And then I thought it was the whole old thing of, I remember with rubbish PAL conversions from NTSC, and maybe that was responsible for it and all that. No, just doesn't work.
And do you know when you finish it once and you unlock the ability to rap cool?
Yeah.
You rapping cool.
You rapping cool, mate, is what it says. In the dojo, you can just about get you rapping cool just by hammering triangle with just ignore what's going on. And if you look at the videos of people doing you rapping cool on YouTube, it's just nonsense. It's infuriating.
You rapping cool.
Yeah, I am actually. Thanks for your pity vote. What do you think? I'm some kind of.
I actually went to a rap battle after playing that, thinking I knew what it took to freestyle. On stage.
I found that you get shorter
shift.
Booed out.
They threw things at me, and I was threatened with a knife.
You think that at least matched the words. So even if they didn't hit the prompts, if you just got the words in sequence and it sounded like whoever you were rapping off, that would make sense.
Very short
but it doesn't.
game, so they had to throw in a sort of thing.
An artificial challenge, Barry.
It was only 6 levels. It's like Res. People think Res is amazing, but it's very short. It was longer than that.
Yeah.
But now you do Child of Eden, and it just seems unreasonably short. And going back to PaRappa, you get the feeling that this is a piss take.
Yeah.
What you're offering me, young sir.
It was... Well, yeah, it's a £40 game. The only way they could actually make it last long enough to warrant the cash is to break it.
And I wonder if that is a deliberate thing they did. Deliberately jip the balls off it.
It's like QA just saying, yeah, we got through this in 10 minutes. You're going to have to do something.
To be fair, though, the characters are cool, music's cool, the whole like 2D sprites, that's
well,
great.
yeah, again,
I
think it's the first rhythm game. Maybe the first game to use that kind of paper style in 3D.
Yeah.
So, PaRappa's quite repetitious. You were saying to me before we were filming, the whole, I gotta believe!
Yeah. So, every single time he goes, wait a minute, I know how to solve my problem, I gotta believe! And there's just this kind of like slight religious undertone and a message to push everything on.
It's not a way to live your life.
No.
If you
just blind faith,
especially with regards to taking a driving test, it's not a belief in your ability to drive is no substitute for a driving license.
Or actually practice.
Or practice. Yes.
Like,
you just indefatigable self-belief. Just rock. I don't need any lessons.
No.
Just I gotta believe.
You got your license 10 minutes ago. No. And then he trashes his car. Surprise.
The more I look into Nana Onshaw, they did the 2 PaRappa games: Jamalabi, Vib Ribbon, Mojib Ribbon, and Vib Ripple. I don't think any of them are actually very good.
None of them.
Really, when you if you take away the visuals and the memorable songs, if you boil them down to what they are, which is rhythm games, are they any good at actually making rhythm games?
I kind of like Vib Ribbon because it had that whole infinite appeal of just putting your whole CD collection through there.
That was incredibly hard, that game as well. It used
really, God, yeah. You tried putting Pantera through it. Did you do that? I don't even like Pantera, but yeah, they were a tough level.
Anyway, so PaRappa the Rapper. It was kind of nice to go back and revisit it.
Good music, cool characters.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to our movie, The Blues Brothers. This was, well, a few people suggested this, but I thought I'd give it to the first person to suggest it, and that was Nick Scurfield. So, thanks for this. I'm not sure.
Thanks.
You'll get no
Seriously,
thanks from me.
I'm going to try and defend this film against these people.
Philistines is, I think, is what is the word I think you're hunting for.
I said dumb people.
I thought I'd seen Blues Brothers before. Turned out I'd seen bits of it before. My wife said to me, "I don't like the Blues Brothers." I was like, "I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt." Ash loves it. I watched it only last night actually, and I didn't laugh once.
The only bit I remembered from it, and the only bit that slightly amused me, that wasn't really amusing. It was the nun bit, where they're walking up to meet the nun who ran the Catholic orphanage that they were raised up in, and basically she hits them for swearing, and they call her a fat penguin.
Oh, you fat penguin!
God, I didn't laugh, did I? It wasn't.
No,
but I know it's a comedy, but it's not really. It's a musical. So it's basically, if you love blues, you know, it's Dan Aykroyd, it's blues, it's a time and place. If you love like T.J. Hooker, sort of like car flips, massive car pileups, ridiculous. There's no plot. I mean, there is, but who cares? But it's not really a comedy. It's more of a musical.
I think the problem is, it's like if someone edited it and made it a tighter movie, it'd feel like a bit more of a kind of a madcap caper. But it's weird. It's like it's a madcap comedy with
7 minutes of one man walking out of a prison.
Yes.
The first 7 minutes of the movie are him getting his stuff and walking to a car. And then once he gets in the car, there's dialogue that is saying, "Where's the caddy?" What?
I think I've
the
got
caddy.
It.
You know, the Cadillac. The caddy. Oh. It's just. I don't want to watch people have conversations like that.
You've got it.
I think I've got it. Okay, so imagine it's when did it come out? Like 82?
80.
80.
I think it was
wow,
80.
Okay, that's
yeah.
a while ago. So 1980, SNL, characters are made on Saturday Night Live, so you're kind of familiar with them already. You're sitting in a cinema, because it's definitely like an event film. You're sitting in a cinema in 1980 with a whole bunch of other people, probably pissed, at night, and it's an event. So watching it at home is a bit different.
Yeah.
Unless you're inebriated too. And with a group of friends, and like, I did tell you to do this. I was like, get shit-faced, then get a bunch of people together, and then watch the film.
Okay. I should add the caveat that I hate musicals as well.
It did feel
Except
like,
for South Park.
I was going to say, it did feel like a wonderful moment in history when black people handed blues music over to two white men. I said, here, you can have this. Disseminate this amongst your people.
A form of music that was kind of born out of white oppression. Yeah. And then go, there you go, our gift to you.
And if you could put this in a music with some whimsical Nazis in it, that'd be cool.
Nazis, come on. Isn't it a golden rule? Any movie with Nazis in is cool. Raiders.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Oh, they were Russian, weren't they?
Exactly.
Any movie with Nazis, Schindler's List, I suppose that was a good movie. I wouldn't say it was an enjoyable movie.
Okay.
Blazing Saddles had the Ku Klux Klan rather than Nazis.
Iron Sky?
Iron
Sky?
Terrible, apparently.
Snow?
It's not terrible.
Dead Snow.
Dead Snow's brilliant.
That was
Yeah,
awesome. That was really good. I don't
Oh,
think
you've hit on something
That's
here.
it.
you've
And that
Pepper
explains
in
why.
some Nazis.
Which does explain
Just
the Don't
pepper
Kill
in-
Hitler.
And we've come full circle.
Is it the first line to feature? Is it the first film to feature the line "Fuck this noise"?
Fuck this noise, man.
Which I use quite a lot.
I think, without any evidence. Yes!
Yes! Baseless speculation. That's what this show thrives on.
Yeah.
So we've already established that PaRappa was the first ever rhythm action game.
Yeah.
According to the show,
No
everything
questioning.
happened here first.
Everything was first. Blues Brothers was the first movie where someone said "fuck this noise."
You have to say it has a couple good lines. There's a couple amazing lines in that film.
Which ones do you?
4 fried chickens and a Coke and some dry white toast.
Yes, because that's their way of showing that Jake and Elwood Blues have different personalities.
the
One of them likes
only-
toast. That's it. That's all.
But
that is.
I do like the way that
for your women. What about that scene?
Oh, fuck that scene. It's not funny. It's just
Crass.
Yeah, well,
Disgusting.
Maybe I've watched lots of things since, and I can't go back.
It is very old school.
I think you're right.
Fight to the death.
I think you're
over
actually
this
right.
movie.
You know, when you've got the pedigree of Saturday Night Live and in America, you've watched these characters,
Yeah.
and it's the big movie event. And I think for the 80s as well, when you think of the level of destruction that happens in that movie, that's quite epic for that time, considering it's over 30 years ago that film came out.
Yeah.
And you've got Carrie Fisher performing random acts of terrorism around Chicago. She blows up a building. It's just kind of treated with this kind of nonchalance that a post 9/11 America would never treat it with. It's like, oh, a woman's just detonated the building. You just kind of go, oh, I'm gonna miss my job.
I liked her when she was
Wasn't
just
it a pure time?
I liked her when she was just a random woman committing violence. But when it turned out she was a jilted lover being a sort of a vengeful harpy, and then he took off his glasses and she melted and became a little pathetic woman puppy. So women really don't come well out of this movie at all.
No, Aretha Franklin comes off as they've kind of written her in as a controlling bitch.
Yeah.
And then gone sing this song, which in most musicals would then convince the
Yeah.
person it's being sung to consider the error of their ways. Instead, he goes, "Fuck this noise."
Well,
Walks off.
because she's singing a song that is kind of, well, I just want you to consider my opinions with this. And they think, oh, hang on, that might create sympathy. Can you just smack him on the chest all the way through it so you look like a bitch? And you go, yeah, okay,
And
do that.
he acts awkwardly
because
throughout
we
the whole
especially don't like women in this film.
But what about the awesome car chase through the mall? Just complete destruction. There's some
I
great
was
car
actually
scenes in this
really
film.
impressed by that.
It's very good. That was fun because you know it's real. Whereas now you go and see a film like you go and watch like Bad Boys 2 and they're dropping cars out the back of a truck and there's boats and all that shit.
Do you know what a boring
But
prick
it's-
I am these days?
Tell me.
I watched that and I thought, oh, so you're on a mission from God and you endanger human life? Typical. Isn't this just... I can't. I won't watch this religious...
Bloody hypocrites!
And then when the Nazis came on, you went, oh,
That's true. I hope they get a wet comeuppance.
So I haven't interjected with any of our viewers' comments yet, and Oddly, we didn't receive a single negative comment about this movie.
Because it's amazing.
Rachel Price said it was my dad's favourite film, the first film we watched together. It introduced me to a whole genre of music I hadn't really been aware of.
That's a good reason to like it. Fair
That's
play
fine.
to you.
She neatly sidestepped the whole quality side.
Yeah, yeah.
Aspect of it.
Oh no, like The Great Race, which is a 1950s film that my granddad made me watch. I like the musical Carmen, thanks to my granddad. So yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, you can be poisoned by your antecedents.
The poor taste of antecedents. Mark Hamer says it's his go-to movie when he's feeling down. Always cheers him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it cheer you up to watch
really,
that movie?
really
Does it
does.
make you happy?
Honestly, I have the soundtrack. It's just brilliant. I love it.
The soundtrack. I mean,
Yeah.
What do you do in the 7-minute wordless periods? Do you just sort of like reflect sadly?
this is a beaming.
Normally, I'm just too drunk on the floor going, ah, and then I hear the music and stand up and go, yeah. No, that's not true. No, I just skip those bits.
Can we talk a bit about how Dan Aykroyd's mental?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. I checked out his site because he's now a purveyor of Crystal Head vodka,
Yes.
which is vodka which is sold in a crystal skull, and it's based on this whole theory that there's these 13 crystal skulls that have been found in various parts of the globe, and there's this whole theory about why they're there. And
I never made the link between that vodka and the Indiana Jones fable bullshit.
No. But it's legit. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to
when they
drink
were
it.
when they were coming up with the movie Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, you know, that their remit when they're making an Indiana Jones movie is it has to be based on an actual, you know, myth.
Right.
And the Crystal Skull myth is a reality. It just took the genius of post Star Wars George Lucas to realise that it's this horrendous alien-filled mess that it was. But I digress.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd, in his own biography on the Crystal Skull site, it says that he's a believer in what he calls the invisible world, where otherworldly presences are a form of reality as valid as our normal reality. That's it.
Yeah, how do you put that fucking belief into practice?
Exactly. He believes that this imperceivable world is entirely as valid as real reality.
I'm all for letting you say stuff, but you're going to have to say something a little bit more
You have to
firm
qualify
than
that
that.
statement.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe say how it affects your life on a day-to-day basis.
and the vodka itself is quadruple distilled, and then put through filtered a fifth time through 500 million year old diamonds.
That's
As you do.
30% more distilled than Smirnoff.
And if you believe the blurb, they're thought to have similar spiritual qualities. So you're drinking mythically pure vodka.
Are believed
Mythically
to.
pure.
Can I say,
pure.
Wow.
that's the sneakiest use of the passive voice. I believe they are. They are believed to by an unquantifiable number of people. Oh, Dan Aykroyd, I despise you now too. Come out with that iPad and fight me.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's just end it there. Like Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, wow.
So this is the bit I'm quite looking forward to, if only because it should be an absolute car crash. Craig Bedford said that we should challenge each other. Well, first he said we should actually participate in an actual rap battle, and then he realised the error of his ways and just said we should do it among ourselves. I started writing one, and it was actually quite offensive, so I didn't really want to be that hurtful to either of you. So I've kind of gone in a completely different direction. Ash, you've gracefully bowed out.
Yes. I've been very busy. Very busy.
Chickened out
Yeah.
is another way of putting it. And Log, I believe you've got something lined up for us.
No? What's going on?
Says. Dear Mr. Maher, please can Log be excused from rapping today? It is not a genre of music he understands. He did like Bad Babysitter by Princess Superstar though. I understand that Jonathan is fat like James Corden, and that you might be expecting him to pull something unexpectedly convincing out of the hat like Corden did with that posh dong Jack Whitehall in A League of Their Own. But please let me assure you that you will be disappointed, and he'll probably just go on about squeezing milk from his tits or something. Rap is a form of music that is synonymous with hunger and aspiration. You only have to look at my son to see there's no way in hell that he could be mistaken for a hungry or aspirational man. We paid for him to go through university and get a law degree, and 20 years on, he writes about video games for a living. He's a preposterous travesty, and for that reason, I ask for him to be excused from rapping today. Unless I can hear a woo-woo. Yours sincerely, Log's mom.
Whoop whoop! Gird your loins and stand in place while I whip out a nip and lactate in your face. The extraordinary stench of my sour man cream will haunt your nights and fill your dreams. I'm gonna wire up my nipples to my retinas, so when we see a sad film that upsetting us, you'll think my tear ducts are just jetting puss, but it's salty grey milk that they're letting off. When you and your lovely wife reproduce, I'm going to suckle your babies with my rank boob juice. I'm afraid that's how I procreate, you see. On its 16th birthday, it'll turn into me.
My rhymes are refined like a cup of Earl Grey or a nice jug of Pimm's on a hot summer's day. I've got a mic and a scone and a pot of clotted cream. No need for jam, I'm preserving my dream. I don't yawn for lawn tennis, nor croquet, nor cricket. Hearing leather on willow puts the sticky in my wicket. I share the nation's jubilation for the streets of coronation, but the working class accents demand my full concentration. The only bitch in my life is my foxhound Jessie. When we're out on the hunt, it's gonna get messy. Like my Cambridgeshire homies, I'm taking a punt on the first YouTube viewer who calls me a cunt. Trigent. Don't hush me, cuz I'm close to my hedge. It's a toad puree that looks like root veg. Ha 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 ha. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder if I should hire another gardener. Right, lower yourselves, gents. Lower yourselves.
Oh, that was... Oh, that was unexpectedly involving.
Best rap ever.
Right, so you're the judge.
So
Which of those two phenomenal rhymes
this is a tough
floated
call.
your boat?
To be fair, both were very, very, very good. However,
If you win, it's because my bum was in it.
You can't judge it on.
I do like a bit of lactating in my raps, so I have to give it to Log.
I knew this. I've read your diaries.
Wait, what?
This is an outrage, an absolute outrage. Well, thanks, Craig, for that suggestion. That's probably the most humiliating minute of my life. To make up for that, would you like to promote something that you're working on?
I would like to promote the official Xbox magazine, what I do work on, and it is a great magazine. And I would also like to promote the Regular Features podcast, what I do with my mates, and they are awesome, and we do a good podcast.
I have to concur, actually. I've listened to a fair number of the Regular Features podcasts, and it's really, really good fun. On our front, Project Possum is over. At the time of recording, it hasn't quite finished, so I can't say what the final total was, but it's ridiculous. We're currently over 28,000 now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
now we've got to do something bloody
incredible.
brilliant.
Thank you.
And you owe me a
Thank
t-shirt
you
as
so
well.
much. We do owe you a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Did you put in over $30?
Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness me! Yes, we owe you one of those spectacular T-shirts that the guys at Insert Coin have put together, based on Patrick Warren's fantastic design. We'll probably flash up a picture because they did a test recently, so we can show you what that T-shirt will look like. Apart from that, you can go and visit our site now, which is www.explosivealan.com. It's just a placeholder right now, but some great stuff will be popping up there soon. We've been working closely again with the Insert Coin guys who are, moonlight as web designers too, and we've got some great plans for that. In the meantime, you can follow us at explosive_Alan or join in the shenanigans at www.facebook.com/explosivealanproductions. And that's it for another homework. The theme for the next show is fear.
Fear.
So we want a terrifying game, a terrifying movie,
I'm scared already.
and a terrifying challenge. The best bit is Ash is a complete wuss. I think he's actually already bowed out of the next episode.
I have to.
But whatever happens, I'm going to make him play and watch
Oh.
the scary things. So whatever.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Ash. And thank you very, very much, Vlog, for being such a ridiculously good sport.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes,
very much enjoyed
It's
myself.
been an absolute pleasure.
Just jumpy enough to talk like that now.
That's a perfect time to cut it. Thanks again for watching Homework. We'll see you next time.